Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. We're going to do your love check-in. Now, this is a divine union twin flame reading. If you are maybe interested in career readings, general readings as far as just what's going on in your life, moves that you're wanting to make, projects that you're wanting to pursue, and you just need confirmations there. I mean, you can always book a personal reading, but comment below if you want a general reading. If you want me to start doing the zodiac sign by sign readings, put your zodiac sign in the comments below. All right, so we're making some changes. Well, I'm making some changes, which means we will be making changes here, getting things organized, preparing for my next move, literal and all the other ways. This is the year of the horse, right? Maybe somebody's birthday is on the 17th of a month, but this is the year of the horse. And that is the chariot. That is moving forward. That is going after. I mean, imagine yourself a wild mare or stallion out there just running on a coast or in the mountains. Well, first of all, if you were a wild horse, where would you be running? Where do you see yourself running? What kind of landscape? Are you running across a desert? Are you an Arabian horse? You know, because that could tell you a lot about what you're looking for. If you want to be in lush green area and you're in the desert somewhere, or if you see yourself running on a shoreline and you are landlocked, you know, your physical environment is going to represent that. And then you can look at that elementally as well, of course, where in regard to your union, your twin flame union, I don't know why I'm getting stuck there. Maybe you're kind of losing hope, and that's why I feel the need to maybe incorporate other readings that are not solely divine union twin flame related, because I think that there's some discouragement possibly, or it's like, well, maybe you have the faith that it's going to happen, but you're like, but it's not happening right now, so I better occupy myself otherwise, because, you know, focusing on it is not ever helpful. You know, a watch pot never boils. These two just jumped out. We got the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups. So feminines coming out of the masculine deck here, if you are feeling this way, RPM. It's funny, my van has had this air intake issue or something. I don't know if I don't know what it is. I've done a few things, had a few things done, replaced parts and everything. Anyway, this is my chariot, right? So what that represents to me is there's something about accelerating. I'm stuck, you know, I don't get as much horsepower, right? So there is a feeling of like, maybe things are not moving. Feminines, you might feel like your person's not moving. They're not coming toward you. Well, they are. They're coming in with the Six of Swords to offer you. This is a soulmate coming in. I was saying to save your ass. So it might be like a literal rescue, maybe not something, you know, but it's kind of where they need you just as much as you need them. Masculines need their feminines to help them ground them, and balance their emotions, and hold that space for them to nurture themselves and to know when to rest and to listen to their body and to nourish themselves, self-love and patience and kindness and all of these things. And the feminine, you might need help with that activation. You need that masculine energy to help lead you in the 3D. Feminine guides in the 5D. The the masculine leads in the 3D. It's more active and passive. And that is not passive like inactive. That's not it's not inactive. Passive is like if you, I was just talking about this morning, passive stretching. So if you have somebody that is bedridden, or even if they're in a coma, you will still do stretches to move their body, keep their body from getting bed sores, getting stagnancy and all kinds of medical issues that happen when a body is not in motion. It's too much rest, right? It's too much rest the body needs. So I feel like one of you needs help slowing down, typically the masculine. You're in that very active go, go, go energy, and you need help slowing down. And feminine energy needs help moving. I feel like there's a stuck energy here. And that can be all areas of your life because it usually represents itself that way. It's like when things happen, and they happen in threes, and we have the 3 of Cups here. When things happen, they happen in threes. Okay, so we've got the 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. So what is the problem here? We've got anxiety and heartbreak around lovers on the feminine side. What is this, feminines? Why are you blocking this? What's going on here? Which the last reading we talked about, you take that first step toward your thing, right? Toward whatever the thing is. The thing, your divine thing. And then your person is magnetically attracted to that. So masculines, if you're needing help in getting into a peaceful place, right? Because you don't want it to be codependent. You don't want, I can't calm down unless I have my person. And the feminine, you don't want to say, I can't activate if I don't have my person. So you got to take that step yourself. You don't want to come into this completely a feminine operating out of masculine energy, and you don't want to be a masculine operating out of feminine energy completely, right? But we all have same ingredients, different recipes. It's a ratio thing, so it's like you need to turn it up maybe like 2%. Just activate your masculine energy 2%. Because if you guide yourself, you're showing others how to guide you. You lead by example. And so you're leading not just your friends, and if you have children, you're not just leading them. You're leading your divine partner? That's not even a word. I don't know what that was. That was just me. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's a balancing act. So, if you're going too much, you're going to exhaust yourself. And a feminine is not going to, energetically speaking, is not going to be attracted to a masculine that is completely inactive. Right? And a feminine is, or if they're completely inactive, or if they're completely active. Like if a masculine's in so much masculine energy that they're not even turning their feminine energy up 2%, then a feminine, there's going to be codependency. The feminine's going to know, if I get into this relationship with this person, I'm going to have to constantly do that work for them. So you're doing a little bit of the work for them, and it is inevitably for yourself, because if you're feeling stuck, you need to change something. Because if you're in a stuck energy, this masculine is coming with this 6 of Swords. It's like they'll come pick you up, but feminines, you got to pack the bag, So that might be something literal for you that is actually happening. You might be going on some sort of vacation, or maybe this person's like, I've made space for you in my home or whatever, like a bird does. It's funny because it's nesting often refers to a pregnant woman, but in birds, it's not all one or the other, right? The masculine creates, and different species do different things, but generally speaking, the masculine sets up the home. It's like they build the foundation, they put a couple nice things in there, like, hey, it's like when you go over to a man's house, right? or a bachelor, right? We'll say a masculine is referring to the bachelor here. This bachelor, and you go to their house and you're like, oh, you know, you're checking it out. You're like, oh, they make their bed. Oh, their bathroom is not a fucking hazmat zone, you know? It's like, oh, you see that they're doing it on their own. They're not hyper independent to the point where it's like they have no room for love, but they are able to do those things. They're doing their own laundry. You know, you're not going to come in to that and have to do everything for them. You're not going to come in and be their mommy. And masculines, you're not going to have to come in and be their daddy, you know? So it's like, that reminds me of a song by, it's 6LACK, but it's black. Is it Problems? Yeah, because there's Free is a different one that has such a cool intro. Anyway, but Problems, he's like, we don't have that much in the bank. We go out, she order the steak. But then he says like, oh, that's working for them. And it works for them, right? It's not working for them, maybe, but that's not your job to make it work for them. So people have to do the work themselves. And if somebody's always like, oh, woe is me, I have this problem, you know, it's like, I feel like you and your person I'm saying these things, and I think you're probably nodding along, like, yeah, I'm not going to be somebody's mommy or daddy. I'm not going to do the work for them. I don't want some codependent bullshit. I've had enough of that. So there's this collective here, I feel, is very accountable. And if you have a problem, if you're like, oh, my throat's sore, oh, my body's sore, you know, it's like, well, get a massage, get on the foam roller, go do some water aerobics, go to yoga, go to the gym, like build up your muscles so that you aren't feeling pain, right? Because pain is not necessarily weakness leaving the body, but it is indicative of a weakness in the body, pain. Just like if our back hurts, we want to stretch it, but that means our back is actually weaker and our front is stronger. So we need to create length in the front and strength in the back. Anyway, I just did a class, so I'm still in teacher mode, I guess. But it is like, you know, it's, if you don't have enough money for therapy, but you have a library card, go get some self-help books, right? Go learn. I mean, you have a phone, obviously, you're here, you have got some kind of electronic device. If you have a problem, Google that shit. GTS. I'm getting GTS and GPS. Like, hey, I've created a space for you, but you've got to get here. Can you get here? You know? It's very solution-minded. It's like, oh, yeah, there are no problems when love is the solution, as I always say. Yeah, 5 of Cups. I mean, I'm actually going to put these back. This strife around the lovers. Because we're unblocking that. We're unblocking that. Maybe that was a past energy. But that could be feminines that the masculine has dealt with before. They were just like, oh, because in that 3 of Swords, you know, the feminine is like, oh, and then, you know, it has these swords through her heart. And it's like, okay, yes, you were heartbroken. Like, get over it. I feel like you guys are able, because you've done so much work, you're able to just jump into analysis. And I'm hearing analysis paralysis, right? So maybe it was really tricky for you. You probably went to one extreme, like getting sober. You go to one extreme or the other. So it's kind of maybe like you went to the far extreme of analyzing everything, and you because maybe you were very emotional. You were very much in your emotions, and those were leading how you operated, and they were not serving your highest good. So you're like, okay, I got to use a little bit more analysis here. Got to get up into my intellect. You know, there's IQ, which is intellectual quotient, and then you have your emotional quotient, which is your EQ. Then you have your moral quotient, which is your morality. So it's or MQ, your moral quotient, which is in your morality. Anyway, I feel like you guys are very compatible in your ability to jump from operating out of a moral code, operating out of an intellectual code, and then operating out of an emotional code. You've done a lot of work. So we're not going to give energy to any of that low vibration, because we're just done giving energy to that. If that's what you're looking for, you know, it ain't here. It ain't here. And I feel like that is how somebody's looking at their environment. They're like, it ain't here. So the love isn't here. The purpose isn't here. My tribe isn't here. Whatever. And you're moving forward. The matriarch of the matriarch of vessels. I said vegetables. Maybe you're eating more vegetables. Yeah, it's what is the movie? Not No Strings Attached. Friends with Benefits, with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. Anyway, his boss, Woody Harrelson, is you know, he's like, oh, everyone's looking for a shortcut. You know, he's like, if you want to make money, you know, get a job, lazy. If you want to lose weight, stop eating, fatty. Maybe that's triggering to people, but get over it. If fatty is the thing that offends you most on all my videos, then I don't know how you've made it this far. Anyway, plus I'm just quoting. And then he says, you know, if you love somebody, hold on to them or whatever, and don't let go. He's like, if you're into that shit, you know, because he's not into love, I guess, or whatever. Or the restrictions that are presented with many relationships. So, yeah, and you could be kind of looking to others around you to represent some semblance of a relationship that you might be interested in engaging in. And I think maybe the people you're around, you're just like, it's not here. It ain't here. But Woody Harrelson is a vegan, longtime vegan. He's like an OG vegan. And so when I said matriarch of vegetables, yeah, maybe you are incorporating more vegetables. Maybe you're considering plant-based. Maybe you live plant-based. And yeah, maybe you're just like, I understand how that could make you lose hope if you are vegan, vegetarian, if you have any sort of morality, a strong sense of morality like that. It's really hard to find compatible people. When you are, the more conscious that you get, the more healing that you've done, you relate to less and less people. You can probably understand a lot more people. Your scope of compassion and empathy gets broader, and you can really understand people, but you don't relate to people as easily. The devil. And see, and you might be kind of getting like flogged. I'm getting like verbal flogging or something from people around you. And see, the devil, you could be a Capricorn or have strong Capricorn placements, but see how they're sort of like, okay, I'm out of here. And these other people behind them are all, get out of here, go on, devil. And he's got the torch here. It's like Beauty and the Beast, kill the beast, you know, but the beast isn't the evil one here. I mean, he's kind of a punk. Ruin. So with the buffalo and this here where he's got all these arrows in his back, I just, believe it or not, watched Lord of the Rings where, you know, he gets arrowed down. Somebody could have been compared to a sibling. Anyway, it is kind of like, get over it. I was talking to someone and they're like, oh, you know, that's how I was raised or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you recognize how you were raised. You recognize those problems in the patterns and in your ancestry and in your family and all of that, so that you can do it better, so you can fix it, so you can heal it, so you can work on it, improve it, you know. So you look at things as a lesson. But this also reminds me of, initially it reminded me of the scene from Dances with Wolves. Wolves are Pisces, but then there's Tatanka, you know, the buffalo, Tatanka, which could be Taurus, right? Because we've got the Tatanka. And he's, you know, they're communicating through gestures You guys can read each other's body language like the back of your hand. But this reminds me of that where he's like, please don't hurt my mules. I hate that scene. It's so fucking awful. Put that in your book. Where he's farting and he says, put that in your book. But this is like that, the Ten of Swords here is like, it's the end of defeat. Defeat sounds like the end, but defeat is like getting it's like the villagers chasing you out. And so maybe that's how you feel. Maybe you're like leaving home. Maybe you stayed around your hometown or something, or you came back to your hometown thinking like things would improve or change. They haven't. And it seems like because of your morality, because of your level of consciousness, people are really offended and they get defensive just by you being you, because you're accountable, because you look at these things. And maybe if you give advice to people, or if people ask you for your opinion, they probably don't like it very much. So it's kind of like, what? This is someone who's like, well, then stop asking me. Because see these swords that they're holding up in the background? It's kind of like words get in the way. I do feel something about words get in the way. I get a lot of you too just sort of doing things in silence. So we have the Matriarch of Vessels. Why am I having such a hard time with it? And then the Queen of Cups here. So we got the Queen of Cups in both places, and the Chariot. So that's like triple Cancerian energy there. And this is what we were talking about. This is the Chariot. We got the Six of Swords, Six of Pentacles, and that is 666 in the Six of Cups. The 666 with the Devil here. So a lot of Capricorn energy, a lot of endings, a lot of dark night of the soul, coming out of hell, basically. Like, I'm getting from 9 Inch Nails, every day is exactly the same. Every day is exactly, ooh, 22 on the clock there, very cool. The Chariot. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Who do we appreciate? You do have a cheerleader in your corner. Could be a feminine water sign. Could be like a mother figure, maternal figure, ancestor. Maybe you pray to a certain saint or angel. Because it's of the unseen, it is in feminine energy, but it could be Archangel Michael or Metatron or Gabriel, Raphael, Donatello, Cowabunga, Ninja Turtles, something with turtles. You could be of the Turtle Clan. Taurus energy here. Page of Swords and the Two of Wands. And then there she is, the damsel in distress here. And the distress is of the mind. So it's like, I do get like this masculine coming in to rescue the feminine so that she can, and it's like Pretty Woman at the end. So what happens after he climbs up the tower and rescues her? She rescues him right back. It's like, I feel like this is a mutual rescue. The masculine knows I have to activate, come in and get this feminine, and then they can come into my space and I will keep them protected, and then they can heal, help me continue this 2% or whatever. I don't know why I'm getting 2%. Very specific, but with veganism, or maybe you're taking dairy out of your diet, because I'm getting that you're like down to 2%. Maybe you came out of like whole milk down to 2%, or if you're trying to quit caffeine or something, you could be like half calf, now you're moving into decaf, which still has a little bit, right? But there's some sort of like, you're like titrating yourself off of something, you're weaning yourself off of something that is not healthy, that's not healthy for your body, your mind, your spirit, and inevitably this union, of course, because otherwise you'd be together, right? It's all timing. 2444. We got 2 with Cinderella there. 7 and 15. We've got Jasmine and the Rapunzel girl from Tangled. I don't know her name. It's probably like, well, there's what, Ella Enchanted? That is with Amy Adams. Amy Adams. And my favorite with her is Arrival. I love that. 7. So if you look at this, because I'm thinking of a palindrome, right? It's a word that looks exactly the same forward and backward, like the name Hannah, right? Eve, S-N-N, Eve. So maybe S and N are important, or but Eve here is like, it's like a wormhole looking at it. That is divine feminine, right? Adam and Eve. Maybe somebody's name is Adam. Maybe somebody's name is Eve. But this is also Eve, like in the evening. It could be like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. It could be the day before something happens. So whenever you're watching this, maybe this is the eve of this breakthrough that's going to happen, or when you're going to hear from them, which is a breakthrough. So we'll just say whatever this breakthrough is. And then we have 15. Maybe you're going west, because now I'm like separating the words here. We got teen. You could have a teenage child or something. But I'm looking at FIF, which is like Fife, Feifel. Feifel goes west, so you could be moving west. But there is this travel, and with the carpet, it's, you know, I mean, you could be going to a different country, or just traveling around, you know, because in that scene they go over Africa and Egypt, and they're just like flying, and you see all of these, like the 7 wonders of the world. 7 wonders of the world. Ooh, I just got a very tantric download there with that. Like your 7 chakras, I feel like this person is going to explore them like the 7 wonders of the world, which gives me the world, which is, you know, fixed sign energy. It's also this, I mean, you could be traveling the world, there could be physical distance, but it's this kind of beautiful zooming out, which is like the scene from Family Man where he stops, they're kissing and he stops, and he's like, "You are so beautiful." And she's like, all right, and enough already. I already told you were getting lucky. And he's like, no, after all these years, like, you're still, this person could have known you from a past life. I mean, they've known you from a past life, whatever that means to you. If you know, you know. But they could have known you from when you were younger, and they see you now, and they may think that you look even better. Or they're just like, wow, you're like exactly the same. I can still see you. And this there could have been years and years, decades in between. I was just talking to 2 people who went through a very similar thing where they'd met each other, and then years later, you know, it's like they come back together. And so this could be someone like on your peripheral that's sort of like been a friend, or maybe you were both in other connections. You could be, you know, just kind of on the outskirts. You know, you could have a teenage child or whatever, and you come back together. You might blend families. Look at them, they are blending. They are blending. That movie Blended. It's just funny. The Light and the Goblet. And both of these masculines look pretty similar feature-wise, but the feminines look completely opposite feature-wise. You know, it's like very fair-featured, very olive-featured, and then we have the masculines are both kind of olive-featured, dark hair. So, I mean, those could be features of your person, physical features. Those are going to be very specific. So, you know if you know. And where does Tangled take place? Like Bravest Scotland. With the green here, I am getting like a land, Ireland, Scotland. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of lands. Maybe someone's from an island. I just landed. Maybe you're going to be getting a message like, I just landed, I'm in town. So you could be like connecting with or reconnecting with somebody who is flying to meet you, and they're like, I just landed, or they just arrived. They're like, I just got into town, just pulled in. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Let's meet up, whatever. And they're going to take you out on a date because you have the Three of Cups. So it's like you're going to meet up, maybe catch up. So this could be an old flame. I mean, it's your twin flame, so it's the oldest flame there is. But with the lanterns and the goblets here, the light and the goblet, the light and the cup, that's Cancerian energy because it's fire and water. So cardinal and water. Or maybe the feminine could be, what is that? Mutable, fire, Sagittarius. There could be a Sagittarius involved here. Because the feminine aspect of mutable energy, which is mutable is air and water. The feminine aspect is water. So we have a lot of cups here. We've got the Six of Cups, the Chariot, two matriarchs or queens of cups, not vegetables. But yeah, maybe incorporating some more, because you could be pretty low on energy. Doing that work is exhausting. Doing the work, the shadow work, it is exhausting. So make sure that you're hydrating, make sure that you're eating well, make sure that you're sleeping, doing whatever you need to do, right? If you're like, oh, I can't sleep that well. Oh, I tried, man. I really have no space in my life for people to say, oh, I've tried everything. No, you haven't, or it would work because that's how things work. 1 + 1 = 2. You find the solution that works for you. There are a lot of different ones for people in certain circumstances, like there's not a one-size-fits-all treatment plan, but there is a treatment plan. So maybe somebody's been feeling kind of drab physically. Their health has been maybe taking a hit, or they just, when you stress or when you're not emotionally fulfilled, you're probably, with all these cups here, if the masculine's a water sign, they might not be in this Chariot energy, because they're just over there burning like a completely empty pot, and now it's like the smoke is coming up and the the alarms are going off. It's like maybe feminine. I'm not saying it's all on you to drink water, but you can help your person along by using the elements and saying, okay, I'm going to fill my water, fill my vessel, my body of water with water. So you could be feeling dehydrated. You could be feeling, low on energy because you're not nourishing yourself. You're maybe eating junk because you've been busy with other things that you haven't been putting really healthy, nourishing food into your body. Maybe there's just like a supplement or something that you need to look into. And again, Google that shit. Like you might be like, oh, I don't have the money to go to a doctor. Or, I don't like going to the doctor. You prefer to avoid that for whatever reason, or maybe you're not near your primary care or something like that. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. So obviously follow your doctor's orders and all that stuff, right? Okay. But it's like maybe you don't have to go to the doctor if you feel super dehydrated and low on energy right away. Maybe you just drink some fucking water. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you and this person, it's very simple to you, and you don't really have time for people who are like in a pity party. It's exhausting to be around that kind of energy. And maybe you've been spending time around that energy because that energy is super attracted to empaths, which cycle breakers are empaths. That's why we're put here with this stupid ability to feel everything so that we could heal it. You gotta feel it to heal it. Let's see, what do we got here? I feel like 3454. let's pull something from here. I think it's pretty, I mean, the masculine's activating, and, you know, if you like, you can help them along. How do you want your person to approach you? Masculines, how do you want your feminine to receive you? Because if you're worried that your feminine is going to say or reject you based on your income, if that's something that's in your mind, you're projecting that onto them. And when you arrive, they're going to smell that. They're going to smell the fear. And if you don't think highly of yourself, if you see yourself as the devil, then they're going to have no choice but to see you the way that you see yourself, because that's what you're going to be mirroring back to them. And so it's if you, again, like Woody Harrelson says, if you want money, get a job. You know, maybe you haven't explored every avenue of income. Or with the world, right? It's a perspective change. It's a zoom out. Really look at the equation here. Are you really broke? Or like Dave Chappelle, Virgo, says in that one of his stand-ups, you know, he talks about how his dad says, we are not poor, son. Like, poor is a mentality. You feel poor, you're tired, you're sick, you're this, you're that, because you feel that, you say that, you believe that, so then you are that. But he says, you know, we're broke. There's a difference. You know, he's like, so if you need more money, find a way to get money. If you're like, oh, I don't really like my muffin top or whatever, it's like, and I'm saying feminines just because that is typically something that females worry about. So, you know, you could be a masculine female and you could be a feminine male. But if you're like, oh, I don't like the way my body looks, or oh, I they're gonna smell that fear on you. They're gonna. This isn't like your person's like a predator, but you smell everything. You really know each other's pheromones. Again, you know each other like the back of your hand. So if you're out, they want you to be confident because they're confident that you're the one for them. So they want you to be confident that you are the one that should be chosen. Like, why wouldn't you choose me? So it's either activate and do something about it, you know, in the physical, or change your perspective of it internally and look at it like, okay, so I got a muffin top, big deal. I know how to get it off. It will come off. That is not going to make me the thing. Give or take a muffin top is not going to give me the, it's not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Validate me. It's something about validation, but it's not going to like confirm or deny my worthiness of receiving this love. That's absurd. So if you, no one here that I'm talking to is really like bad in it, because the people who are bad in it are the ones who throw the pity party for themselves. So it's like, whatever it is, it feels so minor. You've made it greater in your head because you think you should be or look or have XYZ, and that's ridiculous. So there's a need for a change in perspective here. Zoom out and look at it. You know, talk to more people that are your age, you know, or people who are older than you, and you'll realize, like, none of us have it all figured out. We're all a bunch of kids just pretending that we're adults, you know. So you just need to cut yourself some slack and be realistic with it. Be realistic with it. You know, like, you can maybe and that could be part of that, like, you know, the rescue. It's like maybe the masculine gets an apartment or buys a house or something like that. They've bought it. They've got the foundation set up there, but it needs a feminine touch. It needs warmth. It needs to feel like a home. So it's like the masculine is the house, the feminine is the home, right? So it's like together they're gonna offer you a space. They're going to come and pick you up, or like maybe they're gonna, like, there's could be like a transfer of funds. They could be like, oh, what do you need to get here? Because, like, I need you here. I need you with me. And you could live right next door to each other, but it's like, it's still not close enough. This person, these two individuals that I'm talking to, they need to be like in each other's skin and not in a codependent way, because it's like, you've been in your own skin all this time. This is a strange message, I guess, but it's like you've been in your own skin all this time. You've explored your chakras, like the 7 wonders of the world, and maybe they wasn't so wonderful, when you were exploring them. It's like, if through this person's eyes, you're going to explore yourself through their eyes. You're gonna like revisit all of the places you've been inside yourself and be like, and you might even go through that, like, oh, talking about your shadow work. I mean, I think a lot of it you're just going to understand, but you might actually say, you know what? Yeah, about 3 years ago, I went through a similar thing because I was doing this. I think you might find that you were going through very parallel shadow working processes. SN. That's the first one on this letter deck, which we took out of 7 to create Eve. Something about that. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Let's get a letter. TH. FR. Yeah, someone could be doing like a fruit cleanse. I get like a fruit flush. Incorporating a lot of, yeah, I mean, you could have discovered that you have some sort of gene for cancer or some sort of a physical ailment. You could be in British Columbia with BC, but that's before Christ. Tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast again. Yeah, maybe you two were together, right? In a past life. And one of you could have been like burned at the stake or exiled, right? Distance could have been an issue, but now we're in a world where we can close that distance, fortunately. So it's, you don't have to wait 3,000 years of longing, Scorpio and Virgo. You don't have to wait 3,000 years of longing to come together. You might be like trinket shopping or just shopping when you meet this person. You be at the grocery store or whatever, kind of look over and have a meet cute. But I'm getting like melons. Cucumber melon. I remember when that was like a Bath and Body Works. Cucumber melon. Everyone's wearing cucumber melon. And then, what was the one? Strawberries and champagne. Yeah, strawberries and champagne. That's also Pretty Woman. Someone could be really into oral hygiene. Holla! Those bicuspids are so sexy. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Crop swap, labor bonus. So there could be a pregnancy involved. Each labor seed on the crop receives 1 extra point when the crop is scored. Lay your face up behind any set of labor seeds. Labor bonus. Yeah, event. Labor bonus. Okay, so that could be with the event. That's like the tower. So there's a change in work, maybe. And it might feel like a hit at first, or maybe this is something you've already been through, where you lost a job or some kind of work, but it's opening up doors, or it opened up doors where you're able to, I get like a streaming source of income. I mean, maybe you stream online or something like that. Time and crop. So crop was in the reverse. Limber lettuce. Be at the top of your game. Warning, wilty skin will occur if dehydrated. Something about hydrating. I need to get my water. My water, a bottle. 202. And this is agility. So something with your age, you might be like, oh, everyone says, you see all those memes about, oh, I'm getting out of bed after 30 or something, and they're like, ugh. It's like, geez, 30. That's young. You're fine. You just need to keep moving your body. Keep moving, keep hydrating, keep doing all the good things, you know. Just keep doing that shit. Keep on keeping on. And before you know it, you'll be a centennial. Time. And that crop being in reverse. And then we have crop swap. Swap your incomplete crop for another player's incomplete crop. See, I feel like that's what I was saying with they're going to come in and rescue you so you can come back and rescue them. Has that been like that a whole time? I'm going through all my stuff, so I'm like trying out the different lipsticks that I have. Anyway, nobody cares about that. Yeah, you could be kind of tired of talking about all this Healy shit. Maybe you're just going to explore it in silence. This crop being in reverse, though. Limber lettuce. I think that's just that. Yeah, it's wheat. It's like dried wheat. And now that could be, you might be like, oh, I drink water all the time, but where's my person? So this cup, this big, nourishing cup of love could be representing this dehydration. You're in an emotionally dehydrated place. But oftentimes that goes, so maybe speaking affirmations into your water, making sure that your water filters are changed and that you're drinking as clean water as possible. I'm thinking like crystals, maybe using crystals in your water. Charging it in the moonlight, making sun tea possibly, like using the elements around you to enhance your water. Maybe adding some sort of, maybe you're like, oh, I hate drinking water because it has no flavor. You know, some people don't like water. So get some flavoring. There, 1 + 1 = 2. You need water. You're not drinking enough. You know, if you are having trouble sleeping, put your phone in airplane mode, you know, and people are like, oh, what if there's an emergency? You know, maybe you can set your general notifications one way, and then if you're like, maybe you have a child or something, and you're like, well, if they call, I'm answering. Or maybe you care for a parent or an elderly relative or something, and you're like, well, no. Or your job makes you on call, which I feel like if you're in an on-call job, very few jobs like that require you to be in a heightened state of awareness all the fucking time, just in case. That's like a survival mode. That job is probably not very fulfilling, because how can it be? And if it is, and you're like, I really enjoy it, and you want to stick with it, well, then there's a need to find moments where you can decompress from it. Maybe you need to talk to somebody about that. Talk to your, I was going to say your boss, but then parent kept coming through. So you could be living at home, or again, you could take care of a parent, and maybe they call you all the time, and you're like, look, I love you, but I'm starting to resent this dynamic. This is very specific. I don't know. But, you know, I'm starting to resent this dynamic because it's taking too much from me, and I don't feel like it's reciprocated. And even though it is rewarding, even though I do love you, etc., we have to work something out because it's not working. So yeah, there could be something with that. Just that crop being in reverse, I just feel like that was influencing the time of this coming together. Your crop swap, though, attentive avocados. Yes. Gosh, you guys are going to be very attentive lovers. And you might be masculine or feminine. You might be like, what's that going to be like? You know, no one's read your body. This person, maybe somebody has, you know, reduced or, you know, limited vision. But I get someone who's kind of like reading Braille. You go over every single bump. So that you can understand what's being said. And if this person doesn't understand what you say, you probably were with people in the past who just kind of were like, they half listened, if at all. This person is going to be Like, if they don't understand what you're saying, they're not just going to infer. They're not just going to make some shit up and fill in the gaps so that they don't have to pay attention, or so they can just simulate that they are paying attention to get what they want out of the dynamic. This person's going to be like, wait, you said this? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Or they might be like, what does that mean to you? Which is like City of Angels, where he says, can you describe what it tastes? Which he doesn't have taste because he's an angel. Where the heck did I put that? And she's like, you don't know what he's like, can you describe a pear? She's like, you don't know what a pear tastes like? He says, I don't know what a pear tastes like to you. It's like, you guys are going to be so enamored and excited, and more than excited is like, wee! And then it's like taking an energy drink. You get that buzz and then you're sort of gassed out. This is like aroused. It's like all your senses are aroused and heightened, because you're actually activated on all cylinders. Like, you're all someone might think very, again, with that analytical energy, somebody might think quite mechanically, but it's like with you, they can't help but operate out of their emotional quotient, their EQ. I mean, the first card's out, the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups. It's like, you've got a big, beautiful love coming in. That is going to stand the test of time. All time and space. Definitely, yeah, maybe check out some of those movies. I think I only referred to one song. That song by Black, Problems. There are no problems here. It's very simple. 1 + 1 = me and you. Just us two. I don't know what that's from. I just maybe it's a thing, but I just came out. All right. I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. I'm a Taurus, and it's time to eat. So, thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate the support, subscriptions, likes, donations, in any way that you interact, you comment. I so appreciate it, because you don't have to be here, and you are. So I feel very fortunate that any of you resonate with my energy, and that also encourages me, because I always say, I'm right along this journey with you guys. It gives me some personal boost of confidence that this whole twin flame thing is not just, a figment of our imaginations. It's real. It's happening. So I do appreciate everything. Thank you very much. And I hope there was something in here for you. Until next time, I wish you well.